Good morning and welcome on this Monday morning as we go live. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK, and it is lovely to welcome you to come and join me on this Monday morning. It is just a little after 8 o'clock and my laptop makes it 1 minute past 8. And we come in on a Monday morning. I share with you something beautiful from the catalogue, and then we get to have a little bit of a play. We normally case something from one of these projects. We have a go at reproducing one of these projects that goes along with the suite that we're playing with, or the bundle that we're playing with, and have a little bit of chat about what's going on in the world of Stampin' Up and the world of Love-a-Duckie. I'm just fiddling about trying to find the right spot on my laptop. Morning, Div. My laptop tells me that my page is not available or whatever. It's doing that quite a lot at the moment, so we'll just refresh that page. And while that is all chugging away in the background, I can see that I am live. Let's chat to you a little bit about our product of the week. And our product of the week this week is the stunningly gorgeous Bird Ballad suite. Now, if you follow any Stampin' Up demonstrators at all online, whether you see their blogs, watch any of their YouTube videos, Facebook lives, just see what cards and things they post, then I'm sure you will have seen something of this suite, because it is stunningly beautiful, and I don't know quite why it's taken me this long to have it as the project of the week, possibly because it is so popular and we do see it everywhere. But you might not be one of those people that are seeing it everywhere else. You might be relying on me to show you, so I don't want you missing out either. So this is the Bird Ballad suite, and as you can see from just those that spread just there, it is beautiful. Some really lovely sort of pastel-y tones, and really gorgeous, and we'll have a little look at it in a minute in a bit more detail as to what you get in the suite. But there's some beautiful cards on there, that choices of things that we could have cased. There's also at the front of the catalogue, you've got your bundle index. There's this really lovely card here. We did case that actually for the county tour, not last month, the month before. So that's that card from there, with a bit of tweaking. I didn't use quite so much background paper, but that's that card there cased. So there's watercolours, watercolour birds, beautiful background papers. So that's that one. We're the best of friends. So there's one I've cased earlier, but today we're going to case, hopefully going to have a go at reproducing this card just here. And of all the cards on the on that page, it's actually one that hasn't got a bird on it, but we'll put that right on Thursday. Hi Wendy. We'll make sure that we use birds when we're crafting on Wednesday, and I have used the birds. I've used the birds lots of times, so I've stamped with them, I've used the papers. But let's give you a quick flick of what you actually get in this Bird Ballad suite, because it is beautiful. And as with all suites in the catalogue, before I put that catalogue to one side, if you do want it all, and why wouldn't you, you have got a little code up there, and that little code up there gives you everything that you see on this page. So it's a one code buys all. So if you want the whole suite, then that's the code that you go for. So what do you get in this Bird Ballad suite? To start with, you get obviously a stamp set, and this is called the Free as a Bird stamp set. Beautiful line drawings that you can colour in any way you like with your stamping blend. You can watercolour them, watercolour pencils, your stamping white markers. Really lovely. So you've got these birds on a branch, you've got this single bird that you can do all sorts of things with him, make him look like lots of different sorts of birds just by the way you colour him. You've got these sort of floral images, a large flower, smaller flower and a bud, and you've got this leaf, and then you've got some really nice sentiments in some really nice font. Your friendship means the world for me. There's a hello, there's a thank you, we're the best of friends. Really nice stamp set. Now the dies that go in this bundle are, a little bit unusually, not dies that cut out the shapes of the stamp set. These are the incredibly useful, hi Div, oh dear, Div's trying to watch from the train. Bit hit and miss. Hi Chrissy. Well, let's hope you get more hit than miss, Div. Okay, I'm going to swap those around because that looks like those two dies have been put back in there the wrong way round, so they don't nest properly. Right, there we go. These are the stitched nested labels dies, and I have used these so much. It's lovely to have you catch me live, Chrissy. I've used these so much since I've had them, because they're just such a lovely shape, and you get this stitched outline. They're just gorgeous, and then you get this little strange little die just here that just gives you a line of stitching, and that one also is very useful just to give a little bit of detail onto a card, or you know, onto a banner that you're adding on, or all sorts of reasons why you might just want to add in an extra stitch. It may be that you've cut the end off of one of these to make it flat ended, and you want a row of stitching in the bit that you've cut off. It could be all sorts of reasons why you just need that little row of stitching, and so that is an incredibly useful little die. It doesn't look very exciting, but it's very useful. So these are the dies. Morning Valerie. These are the dies that go in a bundle with the birds. So as I said, they don't cut out the birds, but they are an incredibly useful set of dies, and ones I know that you will go to time and time again. We've got such lovely stitched shapes now. We've got our rectangles, we've got our circles and squares and ovals. We're going to be using a stitch circle later on in this card, and there's more to come. There may well, we've got our hearts, our stitched hearts, but we may also be having some stitched stars. I was excited about that. So lots and lots of stitched shapes and more stitched shapes to come. So a really useful bundle. So you freeze a bird stamp set with your stitched labels. And let's just pop these to one side for now. I'm going to need both of those. The papers are just stunning. Obviously mine are all cut into just now, so you see you've got this paper here that's got this beautiful delicate blue flower on this petal pink background. The back of that, this pool party background with these flying birds, really lovely. This one has got all keys on, that's really useful, and then on the back are these stunning flowers that are just asking to be fussy cut. If you like a bit of fussy cutting, then you'll love this paper. Let's see if we can find some bigger bits of that. His bird cages on this side, just a lovely background. This is all feathers. Look at those, aren't they stunning? Lots and lots of feathers. Again, fabulous background, but also lovely for cutting out. Some birds. Now the birds in this paper, what they originally did is they hand drew the birds, sent those off to the printers. They came back, they've all been coloured in with our stamping blends, which makes it a really useful tool to copy as well, because you can look at these and think, right, what colour blends have they used and where have they used them. You can use them as a colouring guide as well. But there's lots and lots of little birds. Again, you can fussy cut them. Look at that lovely stripe just there. Let's see if we can find a bigger bit of that one. As you can see, I've used mine a lot. Look at that, lovely. So you've got some more sort of more delicate birds, and we'll perhaps find a bigger sheet on that side, and some yellow on the back. This has been a well-loved pack. There's some more birds sitting on branches, so those are not just single birds, those are sort of in pairs and threes. And then this beautiful petal pink spot on the back there. And let's see, what other one have we not seen in any great detail? Seen those birds. So this is the other birds. Look, really lovely background, and on the back you've got that really bright yellow with all these little birdie footprints in it. So a really gorgeous pack of paper, absolutely stunning, and lots of opportunities to sit down with your scissors and fussy cut little bits out of that, if that's something that you enjoy doing. I know for some people that's a nightmare, for others it's quite a nice thing to be doing as you're sitting catching up with your favourite soaps or whatever on the television, to be sitting and cutting out lots of little birds and flowers and all those sorts of things. So lots of opportunity for fussy cutting, but also just beautiful papers in their own right. Also in the bundle are these beautiful trinkets. Everything is beautiful, but that's because it is. You've got a little key, you've got this little leafy swirl bit just here, sort of like, you've got a tiny little bow, and they're all in this sort of vintagey look. There's a little flower. Is that everything? So keys, bows, flowers, leaves. Yep, and they're really lovely, and they're a really good weight. And some of them have got the little holes in, so you can either tie them on to projects or indeed use them as earrings, or you know, if you've got the right fixings and things, you can make them up into earrings or necklaces or any of those sorts of things, little charms. They're really beautiful little vintage, sort of like aged brass almost, they look like. And then the other thing that's in the bundle is this gorgeous tin. So you do get the tin, and it's a good size tin. So you get the tin, and in the tin come this set of cards, and these cards are all laser cut. So you get the laser cut cards in this very vanilla, and you get the envelopes to go with them. And let me just have a look, how many does it say? 12. So you get 12 of these laser cut cards and envelopes in this beautiful tin. And obviously you can make those cards up and put them back in the tin and gift that to somebody. You could make the cards up and send them out, keep the tin for yourself. Make the cards up, send them out, decorate the tin and gift that to somebody. Lots of lovely opportunities with this tin, but it is beautiful. So it's like a petally pink colour with these leaves all over the back, all over it, and all down the sides as well. And as you can see, it's a good strong metal tin. So it is a lovely thing. That is a very lovely thing, and we're going to be using one of those laser cut cards this morning, because just as a bit of a reminder, this is the card that we're going to be attempting to make. So let's get cracking with that. So in my basket in front of me, I have popped the stamp set, although I've already put some stamps on some blocks. We will be needing one of the stitched labels. I've got some ink colours, so the ones I've got are Old Olive, Crushed Curry, Calypso Coral and Pretty Peacock. So let's stand those to one side. I've got some of the braided linen thread. I love this stuff, and that goes really nicely with these sort of natural things. Oh, one other thing that actually is in the bundle that I've missed, goodness me, and I've just spotted it on the side, is this lace trim. So this is in the bundle as well. So along with the stamps, the dies, the papers, the tin of cards, the trinkets, you also get this beautiful lace trim. I'll pop that to one side. So here we have our stamps ready on our blocks. We have our beautiful lacy card ready to go. I've actually die cut a stitched circle, so the largest stitched circle from the stitched shapes. That's a lot of stussing going on there, isn't there? So the largest circle from the stitched shapes is what I've die cut there. So we've got that ready to go, and I've got a couple of oddments of card in there as well, ready for my sentiment and possibly a little bit of stamping. So let's put those dies to one side as well, because we don't want those now. So I've got my card here, and what I've also done is I've cut a piece of very vanilla cardstock that is just slightly smaller than the card front. So these are American sized cards. Not that that makes any difference, particularly when we're popping them in the post, but it does mean that they're 5.5 inches long by 4 1/4 wide. So I've just cut 1/8 of an inch off either side on this piece of cardstock. Now you don't need to do that. It's just that if you want to write on the inside of the card, if you don't back it with anything, you're going to see straight through it. Now it could be that you want to see straight through it. Maybe that you've put a piece of patterned paper behind there. You could put a piece of vellum behind there. You could do all sorts of things that you could pop behind there, some coloured cardstock, whatever you fancy, but I thought I would keep it tone on tone and just make that a piece of very vanilla cardstock that I'm going to just pop behind there. So I'm just going to take my Tombow and hopefully, yep, just put a little dribble of glue around that edge just there, and pop that inside. Let's pop it down and then I can see where I'm going. Okay, so now we have a beautiful lacy front, but we can't see through it. We've got a backing on it now. So that's that card base prepped. We don't need to do anything more with that at the moment. We'll stand it to one side and we'll concentrate on our little stitched circle just here. And let me just make sure that I've got the catalogue to one side just to give me a bit of a guide as to where we're going with these flowers. Right, so the sentiment is going to be stamped in Pretty Peacock, the leaves obviously in Old Olive, the smaller flower in Crushed Curry, and the larger flower in Calypso Coral. And there we are. It's done a bit of sorting those out. So I think the first thing we'll do is we'll do our Calypso Coral flowers. And we'll have one off the edge just there. I think we'll have one here, and then I'm going to stamp another one down the bottom here without re-inking, so it's a slightly paler colour. Now, it may be that we want to come in and do some more. I am actually going to do a Calypso Coral flower on this oddment of Very Vanilla just here, and then fussy cut that out in a minute just to give a different level. So let's do some of these yellow flowers. So Crushed Curry, we'll have one here. We'll do another couple that are sort of stamped off in the background there. Let's have one down here. Again, I might want to come back and do some more, who knows. Actually, I think I definitely do want one sort of that position. Ooh. And then we'll come in with Old Olive. Who doesn't love a bit of Old Olive? We'll have one coming here, one here, one coming out there, one coming down there. Right, we'll see where that goes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a blender pen, and with some of these I might open up some of these lids because I might need to add in a little bit more ink. I'm just going to use my blender pen to pull. I'm going to make that one a bit darker. Some of the colour out of these flowers, and we'll do the same with that one. And then that one I'm going to leave as it is. So let's find a bit of, there's a bit of paper poking out the top there. That will do for me to, scrap paper for me to squiggle that on. Let's do the same with our yellow. So some of them we're going to want to be quite dark. Some of them not quite so dark, just a bit of colour in. Some of these outside ones I'm just going to leave as they are completely. Okay, so I might come back in yet. We'll have a look and see how that progresses, and then we'll have a bit of old olive, and we'll do the same with this. This one I'm going to make a little bit darker. This one not quite so. And that one I'm just going to leave as it is. I'm feeling as if I actually need a little bit of some leaves coming down the bottom there, but I don't want all of them, so we'll have a play with that in a minute. Let's just do this other flower just here. Let's just pull this colour out here, add a little bit more in the middle. This is the one we're going to fussy cut in a minute. So the blender pens are quite a nice way of dragging out that colour, adding in a little bit of colour. Hi Karen, without necessarily adding too much moisture, because if we do that to ordinary cardstock, then we are going to get it pilling and bobbling and all those sorts of things. Right, so I've decided I need a bit of green going in there. I don't know if I want it full strength either. So let me just stamp this off on my bit of paper, and then I'm going to lie this bit of card down just here so that I can stamp this leaf. That's it, so that that bit doesn't go onto my card. It goes onto that scrap bit of paper, but I've got a bit of extra leafage just here, and I am having a greeting coming over the top here, so I'm not worried that there's a bit of gap. There will just be something coming down the bottom there then, peeping underneath my leaves. So let's fussy cut what's our big flower. It's the big flower, still quite a small flower, but it's the bigger of the flowers, because I'm going to lay this up on the top. Now I did notice as I was getting ready that my scissors are really in need of a clean, so I might do that. They do tend to get a bit gunked up with glue and sticky tape and all of those sorts of things over time. So this is going to come on the top here somewhere. But first of all, I'm going to stamp my label and get that ready to go on so that we can decide where we want those pieces to go. So what did we do? Aha, they're here waiting on one side for me. I hadn't put them away anywhere. So I'm going to decide which of these stitch labels is going to work with this greeting. That one, I would think, will work quite beautifully. I've got a couple of oddments of card here. I've got a bigger piece if I need it, but I don't think I do. I think I shall be able to stamp this greeting top here. Let's get it the right way round. Not that it will make much difference at this stage. We can just turn it round and we'll just stamp that. The world needs more of you. I love that sentiment. What a fabulous thing to send to somebody. I think you're so wonderful that I wish there was more of you in the world. Right, let's find our big shot. Oh. Down here on the floor, I'm going to shut up this ink pad so we don't put our hand in it. And let's line that up. I'm going to put that longer second sentence sort of in line with the 2 points on that stitched label. Wind that through. There we go. Just going to tuck that label in there so it doesn't wander too far. Okay, so we're going to be able to put our label across here just like that. We have sort of covered up most of that little flower in there, but we're going to be popping another one in here anyway. Do we need another little yellow flower up there? I think we perhaps do. Let's pop another one in there. And we'll make that sort of midway, not too dark, but with a bit more colour than those outside bits. That's it. Right, okay, so now what we want is our linen thread, and we're going to wrap this round a couple of times. So I'm going to take a bit of tear and tape, attach that to the back so it's not going anywhere. Wind it round a couple of times, get a bit more tape. And then snip it off. What happens on the back stays on the back because we're not going to be able to see it. So there we have our linen thread wrapped a couple of times around the front of our stitched circle, our stamped circle. Let's take our greeting and put some dimensionals on it. So we're going to raise this one up a little bit. And we're going to have that, there we are, off to one side. Let's take our little flower now. Do I want that up on a dimensional or do I want it flat? I think I'm going to put it in flat, sorry, chuntering away to myself. Just going to lift that slightly to pop that one under there. Now the other thing we're going to add in here is a couple of the little trinkets. She says, where did we put those? There's always something, isn't there? There's always something that last minute goes missing. We know that it can't be very far away because we've had them. And I'm probably staring at them. Let's move to one side to the bits we don't want. Let's pack up our ink pads. Pop away our stamp sets. There they are, look, right under my nose. Right, so I'm going to take 1, 2 of these little leaf trinkets and some glue dots. I've already got those out, ready to go. And I'm going to pick or not. Got you. And I might put 2 on there actually, just to make sure it's got a secure hold. And we're going to tuck one in under there, and the other one we'll tuck in under there. So there we have those 2 lovely sort of vintagey brassy looking trinkets sticking out either side. So all that remains now, hi Max, is first to add our topper to our card. Now the other benefit of course of putting a backing on the top back of your lacy card is that you've got something to adhere to, because otherwise you'd be worrying about glue and stickiness coming through the holes. So now the decision is, do we stick that flat or do we raise it up? I think actually flat. So that it looks almost a part of the card base, and it's the greeting that's popping out. I'm just trying to line that greeting up so it's straight, because of course the bit we're sticking on is a circle, so that can be twisted. So there we go. So we've used the Bird Ballad suite. We've not got a bird in sight, but as I said, we will put that right on Thursday. So here's our card in the catalogue, and here's the one that we've created this morning with our blender pens and our colours. Those flowers are really beautiful actually, and are very easily overlooked amongst the birds, but they are incredibly useful. So you can be creating cards just with the flowers, but why wouldn't you want to add in these beautiful birds as well? It is a really stunning suite, and we should be back to play with this on Thursday. I have got a couple of things coming up actually using this suite, so although I've not used it as project of the week up until now, that doesn't mean that I haven't been planning things with it. I have got a stamper stack coming up on Friday afternoon, 1 till 4:30. We've got a stamper stack using this bundle, so that is you go away having created 6 cards. There's 3 different designs, 2 of each, and actually one of them is a Christmas card, so we've made a Christmas card out of that bundle as well. The other class I've got coming up using this bundle is using the papers, doing a bit of fussy cutting as well as stamping and all those sorts of things to create this 12-inch or 30cm square box frame. Now this class is the first class that I've got scheduled to run over at the Galleria at Burton Latimer on the 13th of September, Friday the 13th. Hopefully not unlucky for anybody. So if you would like to join me at that class, it's £35 to include your kit of products and your frame, all the instructions, tuition, all of those sorts of things. If you do fancy joining me for that class, then do get in touch. I would love to have you there. So I'm going to carefully put that to one side, trying to make sure that it neither gets broken nor faded in the sun. So yes, so that's a couple of things coming up using this beautiful suite of products, and coming up really quite soon. So do put your names down to join me for those. And thank you for joining me this morning, and I will be back to see you on Thursday evening. In the meantime, have a fabulous week and happy stamping.